O'clock, I'd like to call the meeting to order. And when she does roll call, will everybody give their location, please? Roll call.
Bowers,
In Hastings, Michigan, at my home.
Carey, Jarvis,
Here, home in Hastings.
Moppenmore,
I'm at home in Hastings at my house.
McLean,
Here, Hastings.
McNabb Stang,
Sorry, I was muted. Home, Hastings.
Rezegi,
Here, home in Hastings.
Smith, Tassava,
Here in Hastings. Entertain a motion to excuse Councilman Carey and Councilman Smith.
So moved, Jarvis.
Rezegi,
Support.
Motion by Jarvis, supported by Rezegi to excuse Councilman Carey and Smith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Will you all rise for pledge of allegiance, please? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible,
liberty and
liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to apologize a little ahead of time. I might seem a little short tonight. I don't really feel real good, so probably a good thing we're not all together. Everybody get a chance to look at the agenda?
Yes. I
Any additions or corrections? Entertain a motion to approve the
We
agenda.
approve the agenda.
Motion by Bowers,
Rezegi,
Support.
support by Rezegi. Roll call.
Jarvis,
Yes.
Moppenmore,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
McNabb Stang,
Yes.
Rezegi,
yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Tassava,
Yes.
motion carried.
Hopefully everybody got a chance to look at the minutes from the January 25th, 2021 virtual workshop and the virtual regular meeting. Any corrections or additions to that, those minutes?
I make a motion, we approve them and placed on file.
Bowers, I'll second it.
Motion by Jarvis, second by Bowers to approve the minutes of the January 25th, 2021 meeting. Any discussion? Roll call.
Moppenmore,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
McNabb Stang,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Jarvis,
Yes.
Tassava,
Yes.
motion carried.
Open public discussion regarding matters not on the agenda. Is there anybody out there who'd like to address the council tonight? If so, I'll give you 3 minutes and state your name. Anybody out there? Okay, proclamations, we have none. Public hearings, we have none. Formal presentations and requests. We have a request from Gina McMahon, YMCA Program Director, to reserve Bob King and Fish Hatchery ballparks for April and August 2021 as permitted by COVID-19 restrictions for youth baseball programs. Gina, you out there tonight? Anybody have any questions of staff? This is pretty much routine. We do have another request coming in, but as always in the past, they've coordinated with each other. The Y being our representative that runs our youth programs. They have first say, and she's pretty good at coordinating with each other groups. So any questions? Jerry might be able to answer for you. What's your pleasure?
This is McNabb Stang. I make a motion we approve under direction of staff.
Mop and more support.
Motion by McNabstain, supported by Mop and Moore to approve the request from the YMCA for, to reserve the ball fields at Fish Hatchery and Bob King Park. Any discussion? Roll call.
Jarvis,
yes,
Moppin-More,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
McNabb Stang,
yes,
Rezegi,
yes,
Bowers,
yes,
and Tassava.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Ordinances. No, excuse me. Item 10, recommendation from other boards. We have none. Item 11, ordinances. First reading of ordinance number 596, special land uses in the B1 zoning district. This is the first reading of this, but I do have Dave Hatfield online tonight if anybody wants to ask him any questions.
can we get an, this is McNabb saying, can we get an explanation of what's being done here?
Well, haven't we looked at this before? Didn't we look at it last week?
No, this is a different
Or
one.
last week? This is what?
This isn't the one we just approved. This is in addition to it. Dave, are you out there?
you're muted, Dave.
Sorry, little thing called unmute. Jackie, you've not seen this before. This is a first reading on it, but you may recall some of the discussion that we had when
Oh.
you were
Yeah,
still
that
on the
may be
planning
why
commission. So that's why it
Yeah.
sounds familiar. Dan, I'll defer an initial explanation to you if you'd like to chime in on this.
Yes, Dave. Yeah, this text amendment change to the B1 district would allow the planning commission some greater latitude than what they currently have in regards to use standards and density standards for projects in the B1 district.
We've made some changes which you have approved over the last couple of years that have, with the exception of the core B2 district, permitted certain residential development. This just gives us a better defined flexibility, subject to all the requirements that go along with special uses. So they're still going to have to come in and justify what they want to do and its impact on the zone, but it will allow some additional residential development within the area.
Dave, this is Al. Was there a request that brought this on, or just how did this come up?
There is not a specific request that I'm aware of that prompted this, other than the realization that with the changes that we made, we should have inserted this kind of flexibility and requirement at the time we did that, and we failed to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did I answer your question, Brenda?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay, I see the city of Grand Rapids approved the same thing that we're asking last week in downtown Grand Rapids. They're following our lead, I guess, right, Dave?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, like I said, this is the first reading. Does anybody else have any questions of Dave while I got him on here? This will be back up in 2 weeks for more discussion and hopefully approval. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Appointments, mayor's appointment of Deputy Chief Dale Boulder to the 911 board.
You skipped
Dale
something.
Dale has already had one meeting out there. He's not really formally on this board until you approve my appointment. So do I hear a motion?
You
Hey,
skipped
Dave.
something, David.
We skip resolution
12.
12A.
Huh. We'll go back to that in a minute. How's that?
Okay.
Mayor's appointment of Dale Boulder to the 911 board. Did I hear a motion?
Motion to support.
Motion by
Second.
Mop and more.
Mop and Moore, You got to.
I'll second it.
I got this little draw here. And seconded by Jackie McLean. Is that who seconded it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Any discussion? I think Dale's going to be a great addition to that board. No further discussion. Roll call.
McLean,
Yes,
McNabb Stang,
Yes.
Rezegi,
yes,
Bowers,
No.
Jarvis,
yes,
Moppenmore,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, backing up to item 12, resolutions. Introduction of resolution 2021-06 to add suggested items for future agenda as an item on the city council agenda. Jerry, you want to tell us about this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this,
I have a question, David.
About what?
This, we can do this anyway, can't we? Why do we have to have a big, thing put in there about it? I mean, aren't we allowed to put something on there if we need to or feel we
Well,
should?
I think, yeah, you do, but this is a little more formal. Can let Jerry explain it and then see if you still have a question, Don, okay? Go ahead,
okay,
Jerry.
okay, per our meeting setup, the city manager and the mayor are the ones who set the agenda. And so sometimes there's stuff that's brought up, and then it's left up to just the city manager and the mayor to decide if it should be on the agenda. This just formalizes it a little bit more, gives an opportunity for people to bring up things that they want to, or council members, things that they want to see on a future agenda, and then other council members to weigh in on whether they agree on whether that should be on the agenda or not. So this is a way to formalize that procedure.
I think it's great. I make a motion to
I think
support that.
I have a big problem with it. I don't see why the mayor sets the agenda. He does run the meetings, that's in the charter, but setting the agenda is not what he does. Yes, he works with the city manager, and there are a number of things on the agenda as it's presented that are natural things that have to be filled in by a specific person. You know, for example, the city manager's report has to be done by the city manager, not by the council. But when it comes to items that come in, I don't see why the city council should have to wait a month to get something discussed and voted on in the agenda. Which, if one person objects, that's exactly what happens.
I think
Take a month before we discuss
Robert's
it.
Rules of Order and Open Meeting Acts defines that different, though, I think. When an item's brought up to be put on the agenda, it's up to the vote of the majority of the council anyhow. This is what we're doing here.
Right.
It's just giving you permission to have it put on the agenda. So you don't have to
Well,
go
yeah, then-
through.
Then if I were to raise an issue today that said I'd like to discuss this at a future meeting, we should have a vote that day as to whether to put it, not if somebody else objects to it, then the next meeting we discuss it, and then the next meeting we might have to, then we actually vote on it. I mean, it's not, I mean, you put it, the way this process goes, if one person wants it on, another one doesn't, it gets put off for 2 weeks to even discuss whether you put it on the agenda.
I think it still happens to do with the majority, not just one person. If one person doesn't want it
No.
on there.
Oh, I totally agree. I do agree with the majority.
So what you're saying then, Brenda, is you really don't want us to do anything with this then, right?
Well, I think it needs to be worked on. I think it's not a bad idea to have it on there, to have the set rules. But I think if somebody wants to put something on the agenda, it should be voted on that night, whether we should put it on.
Well,
in the next.
let me ask this question to the rest of the council members. We've heard what Brenda wants. Now, who else wants to voice their opinion on what they want to do with this?
Well, I like the idea,
share the Zoom video.
but it does say if any member of the body objects to the suggested item being placed on a future agenda, that matter will be placed on the next schedule. So it seems like a vicious circle.
Right?
I mean, shouldn't it be the majority? Like if the
Well,
majority,
The thing about it, the reason it's set up that way is if a council member brings it up at the meeting and there needs to be a discussion on it, we need to hold that discussion till the next meeting because council members can't bring up items for discussion on the meeting that we're in. So like
Why?
at this point that we're going, because we've already set the agenda. So at this point, we've
But
set the
if
agenda.
before we set the agenda, if we say we need something added to the agenda and we vote to add it, then it gets added, correct?
Right.
Right.
That's what the thing at the beginning is.
It's
But
once
this is,
agenda's been set.
but this is what's saying is if we have stuff that's coming up, again, if you want to give an opportunity, because you want to give an opportunity for people to be prepared for the items that are coming up if we're going to have a discussion about it. And so this just allows a process for doing that. And this is just a suggestion. I did actually borrow this from another municipality, and this is how they had theirs set up for council members adding agenda items. So we can look into adjusting it. Like I mentioned in my memo, this can be back for more revisions, can be adopted, or we can not do anything with it. It was just an idea to get the discussion started.
Then nobody can put a new item in front of us like we've had happen a number of times that we ended up discussing. So a new item that wasn't on the agenda that gets put in our seat before the meeting, and we've got to review it right then and there. We're not going to do that anymore.
Well, we haven't done that in a long time. That's what we try to do, and that's why our
Well,
meeting.
we haven't been there in a long time.
No, but that's again, that's a decision. Something that's once the agenda is set, something to be added to the agenda, that is up to the mayor as the chairperson on whether it gets added or not, or can be suggested at the meeting. So when something like that came up in the past, it was brought to the mayor on, do you want to bring this to Monday's meeting if we get it late Friday? But again, that's one of the reasons why we had a discussion previously, why our agendas have started to come out on Friday is to try to alleviate these agenda items coming up at the last minute and having to be added at the meeting.
So what's the thought? Do we want to kind of let this thing lay and have Jerry work on it some more and bring it back to us?
Well, I've got a question here.
Go ahead.
Jerry, basically what you're saying is if we go ahead with this, which I like the idea of it, that there'll be two ways to put something on the agenda. First, you approach it, one way would be to approach the mayor and say, hey, mayor, can we get this put on this week's agenda? And it would be his decision whether to do it or not. Or we can approach the rest of the council on council night and say, hey, can we put this on the agenda for next week? Is that kind of what you're saying here?
That's kind of what we're trying to put together.
Well, I applaud your efforts, Jerry, for doing this. I think it's a great concept. So yeah, I'm not really sure what everyone else wants to do, but
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, you do have a motion on the
motion.
floor.
Didn't have a support though.
Not yet.
No.
We didn't have
We
the
have- well-
opportunity to.
Pardon me?
There wasn't an opportunity because we started talking.
Right. So the motion was made to go ahead and implement this. Do I have a second on it?
Rezegi, support.
Motion by McLean, supported by Rezegi to implement the way this is worded in your packet. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Jarvis,
I think we lost him.
I'll move on.
Yeah, I don't see him
Maupin-Moore,
on there.
I'm gonna vote no because I would really like to have Don Smith and Jim Carey's feedback on this as well.
McLean,
Yes.
McNabb Stang,
No,
Rezegi,
Yes.
Bowers,
No,
Jarvis. Tassava,
No.
motion failed 4-2.
So what's your thought on it now? You want Jerry to work on this a little more and bring it back to us then? And hopefully the whole council's here next time it's brought up?
Sure, that'd be great.
That's what I would like, yes.
I'm pretty sure that Jim's gonna be, he has something minor going on tonight, so anyhow. And Don's on vacation in Florida, so they both should be back.
So,
Uh,
hold on, Mayor, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Is this like time for discussion afterwards or, because I'm just curious about those that voted no, like, I guess I'm unclear about exactly what they don't like about it.
It sounds to me like they think it needs to be tweaked a little more. That, Therese and,
No, I just would rather, I would like to have feedback from Don and Jim. I just think if we're gonna change the process, I'd like to have everybody's feedback and have them have the ability to give their opinion as well. That's why I voted no.
Okay,
I'm not necessarily against
Well,
it. I mean.
we
I just would
really
like to
don't
have
need
their
an explanation
feedback.
when somebody votes no. I just assume, and that's why I asked, what do you want to do now? Do you want to have
okay,
Jerry look at it again?
okay.
Because I don't
And
think it makes people feel comfortable if you ask them why they voted no.
Right, I
I'm
just
back.
wonder why they don't like, I mean, what
I
could we do better? I mean,
I
I guess
understand.
that's the question.
So the feeling is to have Jerry work on this, I assume. Plus, Therese would like to have everybody here to go over it and vote on it. So
Right,
that,
but I feel like I mean,
if it-
Jerry,
Jackie,
Do
the
you
other thing
know-
is if people have suggestions of things that they want to change, they can always email me or call me,
okay,
you know.
okay. So yeah, I
The
hope that
the thing,
if there is
yeah, the thing I just
suggestions,
like the most is the fact that you bring up that you want to add it to the agenda. Then the next meeting, you talk about whether it should be on the, or somebody objects, then you talk about whether it should be on the agenda. And then the following meeting is when you actually talk about the item. That's what I don't like.
okay,
It gets put off too long.
right,
well, I think he just wanted to do something that was a little more formal. You know,
right,
there hasn't been a time yet, you know, and you can attest to this too, Brenda, because you've been on the council almost as long as me. You know, anytime something's brought up and you ask the city manager, the mayor, it goes on the agenda. It's not an issue. You know, Jerry was just trying to make it a little simpler, and we'll let him work on it so he can simplify it. How's that?
Right, I know. I'm not criticizing. I think it's, like I said, I think it's a good idea to get it formalized. And I think just a little, that's why I felt just a little tweaking would help.
Okay.
and I guess I just asked that question to everybody just because of the fact that I felt like Jerry was like, kind of like, what do I fix about it? Like, I don't, you know, like, I feel like we should offer feedback for him, exactly what it is we don't like. But if we email him, that's fine. Like, if that's the way that it goes, because I'm the newbie, I'm not really sure. So
Can't use that newbie anymore. You've been here a couple months.
I think I get to use it for a year.
Right. Okay, moving on. Bid contract agreements and sales. We have none. City manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In your packet is the report from Travis Tate, the Public Service Director. And I know Travis is on the call, so if you have any questions, please ask.
I see on the report, we're getting close to starting our project up on Woodland Avenue. I don't know if anybody else noticed that or not. They let the bids out and the bids have been awarded. Thanks, Travis.
So can I ask a question? We used to have everybody stand up and kind of give a report. Can we still do that here on Zoom? I mean, can Travis just kind of give a rundown of what's going on, kind of like we did before? Because it seems like it's always dead air, like there's no conversation.
You want to listen to Travis talks, what you're saying?
Yes, I think we need to get him ready for all the questions that we're gonna have for him, like we have everybody in the past. So I, give him the opportunity to, talk.
So maybe we can do that. I mean, the idea behind this was when the legislature put in when we first went to the COVID, is to try to
Right.
keep these as limited as possible. So this was a way to try to keep that. But that's something that if council would like to do, we could do that moving forward, starting with the next meeting, if you'd like.
Well, I would love to hear from them.
Is that true of the entire council?
I mean, yeah, I think it's a great idea. I don't necessarily know if they have to read the report word for word, but just to get some
No.
highlights would be great. I mean,
I do too.
I don't really, it would help me as know who people are and what they're doing. I mean, it would just be educational for me as well. So I like the idea.
Well, in the past, it was people reading the whole report to us, which to me, was a waste of time.
Right.
We should be reading ourselves, and then if you have any questions, ask the question. It would be nice to see Travis, and, you know, maybe somebody would come up with a question, but at this point in time, I don't have a question, so. But I don't want anybody reading it to me either.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't think that's necessary either.
The problem with it, from my point of view, is simply that if you have an issue, who is going to give you the update? The person that's supposed to isn't there.
Don, Travis is on the call,
yeah, they're
waiting
here.
for any questions you might have. So if you have
Yep.
a question on his report or something related to his department, you can ask that question right now if you'd like.
I think one thing I would like to see on Travis's report is on these big projects like the wastewater treatment, it says it's making progress. I'd like to know if it's on time and on budget.
Yeah, it's on time and on budget so far. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Yeah, it's on time and it's on budget.
Have there been any change orders done?
Yep, we've had one change order with a second one coming up.
Is that increasing the cost at all?
Yeah,
By how much?
the first change order, I don't have that number in front of me. I want to say it's about $40,000. And the second one is going to be about 20,000.
So how is it on budget?
Well, we put contingencies in the budget.
Of
Certain-
how much?
I think it's about 150,000.
Okay, good. So that,
So
yeah,
we're-
so that,
we're well
that
under-
kind of,
under the contingency budget.
okay, then that, you know, because that's the kind of thing I'd like to see. You know, this is what the contingency was, this is what we've changed, this is what's left in the contingency, kind of thing, so,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
All right, thank you, Travis, for your report. You also have in your report, or in your packet, a report from Fire Chief Karras, and I see that he's on the call. So if you have any questions for him, you can ask those.
Have they started the thing on the fire barn yet?
Makeup air unit.
Roger, you're on mute.
I didn't hear what the question was.
Did they start the renovation on the
Yes,
fire
they're about
barn
2
that you asked for?
No, they're about 2 to 3 weeks out. They got to order all the parts and get everything in there before they start.
Did we ever get any communication back from Birch of whether or not they were going to help with this?
I'm sorry?
Did we ever get any communication from Birch whether or not they were going to be able to help with this project?
Haven't heard yet. Haven't heard.
Okay.
They're still talking. Jerry could probably relate to that one better than I.
Do we have any idea when they're going to come up with an answer?
We don't yet. They're still in discussion with their 5 townships.
I think they had an election going on too, didn't they? Isn't that what Jim Brown told us last meeting? That they were getting ready to have an election of officers? They wouldn't be talking about it until after that happened?
Correct.
Okay.
And Birch has not set their meeting yet, so I have not seen anything.
Don't cross your fingers.
All All right, thanks for your report, Roger. Also in your
Thank
packet is a report from Peggy on the library, and Peggy's on the call if you have any questions for her.
Peggy, I don't have any questions, but I do have a comment. I just want to tell you that the residents are super grateful for the tablets that you guys were able to write the grant for. And they're definitely getting used, and we're figuring it all out, but we wanted to just say publicly, thank you for doing that for the residents at Thornapple Manor.
You're welcome. It was a grant that we were able to get. And after talking with Tara Beach and realizing the need, it seemed like a really good fit. So you're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Peggy, for your report. Also in your packet is a report from the assessors. I don't think either one of them are on the call right now, so I can take questions and somebody can get back with you if you have specific questions that I can't answer. All right, then that ends my report, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, thank you, Jerry. Item 16, consent items without individual discussion. As always, let me go through them, and if you see anything you want me to come back to when I get all done, I'll ask, and you can tell me which ones you want to hear. Item A, invoices, Flatlander Sculpture Supply and Midwest Sculpture Initiative, LLC, $8,300. That's for repair of the sculptures that the city owns downtown. Berry County Road Commission, $5,856 for truck rental during leaf pickup. Dewey Auto Body, $5,106.80 to police car repair. Gucci Builders, $82,357 for Marb Helders project on Court Street. Item B, draft minutes of the Hastings City Berry County Airport Commission, January 27th, 2021. Item C, summary of the Berry Central Dispatch Administrative Board meeting of January 25th, 2021. Item D, draft minutes of the LDFA January 28th, 2021 meeting. Item E, draft minutes of the Planning Commission February 1st, 2021 meeting. And item F, draft minutes of the Hastings Public Library Board of Trustees February 1st, 2021 meeting. And item G, event calendar for February 2021. Anybody have anything you want to pull?
Yes. I just want an explanation, I guess, David. The Flatlander Sculpture Supply and so forth. What does that mean? They're taking what we got in and redoing them? Is that what it is?
Yes, Don. Yes, Don, that's correct. They're refurbishing the sculptures that are in town. The DDA had money in their budget to do that, to extend the life of the sculptures that the city owns.
Thank you. Berry County Commission. Well, how long did we have the truck?
We had
it for 80 hours.
By the week or by the hour?
Yeah.
By the hour. It was 80 hours at $73.20 an hour.
Let's let Jerry answer that, please.
So we had it while we were doing the leaf pickup. So we were charged by the hour that we used it.
Any other questions? Any other items anybody want to poll?
Yeah, I have a question on a couple more invoices, I guess. Dewey Auto Body, was that covered by insurance?
That is covered by insurance.
Okay. And then the Helders property.
That is passed through money from the grant.
Great, thank you.
Anyone
One
else?
thing I do have a comment on that Helders property. A lot of people have said to me that he doesn't use local subs, and I'm glad to see on that a local sub was used. So I can tell people that's not necessarily true. No local subs are used. So
He had Carpenter Plumbing over there doing all plumbing work, and I think he had Morgan Electric doing a lot of that work. So I think he's used, the majority of the people he's used over there, I think, have been local. Any other questions on anything else? On item C, Summerberry Central Dispatch Administrative Board, I want to thank Dale Boulder for stepping up and so I could appoint him to that board. He asked me the other day what kind of report I wanted, and I say, hey, just give me don't give me word by word what happened there, but give me a good report. And the report he gave, I thought was real good. So thanks again, Dale, for taking that on. If there's no other questions on any of these items, I entertain a motion to accept and place on file consent items 16A through G.
This is Bowers, I will make that motion.
Mop and more support.
Motion by Bowers, supported by Mop and Moore to approve consent items without individual discussion. Roll call.
Rezegi. Rezegi? Oh, you're on mute, Mr. Rezegi.
I see that. Yes.
Okay. Bowers,
Yes.
Jarvis,
Yes.
Mop and Moore,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
McNabb Stang,
Yes.
Tassava. Motion carried.
City Attorney's report.
Hi, this is Sue Ann Watstay. I'm here on behalf of Stephanie Fecka. She had a conflict this evening and there is nothing to report from the city attorney.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Legislative Director's report.
Grand Valley Metro Council met last Thursday on the 4th. Basically, it was a bunch of additional organizational items. Got new members from already existing communities, the members sworn in, and got the schedule approved and got, things, so just basically organizational. That's all I have for tonight.
Okay, thank you. Open public discussion from the floor. Anybody out there want to address the council? I'll give you 3 minutes. State your name. Okay. Mayor and council comment. I'm going to call Jackie first tonight so I don't forget her again. Any comment tonight, Jackie?
Nope, I have nothing for tonight.
Treese, any comment tonight?
Oh, I'm just curious, how's the budget going, Jerry?
We're putting the numbers together. We'll get you so you can see it as quick as possible.
Fantastic.
Jane's doing a great job. There's a lot of things to pull together and a lot of things to compare.
yeah.
So there's a pretty lengthy spreadsheet that she put together that she got to me, so that it's waiting for me to review, but she's doing a nice job with that. But it is a daunting task.
So do we need to have another meeting like at 6 o'clock again anytime soon?
I will let you know once I get a chance to go through the budget.
Perfect. Thank you. Otherwise, just be careful out on the roads.
We did get a calendar of meetings for the budget, didn't we, Jerry?
We did. I mean, we will definitely have those. There's one coming up later on in the process, but if we need to call one sooner, I will let everybody know.
Okay, thanks. Brenda, any comment tonight?
None tonight. Thank you.
Don Bowers.
I have a question. Who do you call in the evening to see how the roads are in a certain area?
I would think you call.
State highway.
I would think you could call Berry Central there.
No.
But Chief Pratt can probably tell you who to call.
No, she can't. They won't. They can't answer it. They've told me.
Really?
State police aren't there after 4 or 5. Sheriff's Department doesn't know, and there's nobody at the state road after a day shift.
We'll have to research and get back with you on that.
No, I'd sure like to know, because sometimes we have to travel in the evening and we don't know if the roads are okay or not.
Right. Al Jarvis, any comment tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to state that 2020 is over. What a year. And I'd like to say that Jerry and his people did a great job to get us through it. I mean, it's not like there's a manual on how to handle a pandemic in the city. And in 1918, the last pandemic, I don't think we had a city manager back there. So Jerry, you and your people did a great job. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Al.
John Rezegi, any comment tonight?
Yes, I'd like to again thank Jerry Zarnicki for the great job he's doing, as well as the staff at City Hall and the guys down at the city garage and water and sewer and all of that. They're all doing a great job to keep us going, especially during this cold weather. And I'd like to let them know I appreciate that.
Okay, thanks, John. I just got an announcement tonight. You probably noticed the last couple of meetings I've been adding members of different boards. I did part of that out of respect for Bill Redmond, but I'm still short on our cable access committee, the LDFA board, and the ZBA. So if anybody knows anybody that's a citizen of the city of Hastings, let me know. Maybe I can reach out to them and talk them into being on one of these boards. We're not critically low, just sometimes it's hard to have a quorum, you know, if you have one or two people gone. So if anybody knows of anybody that might want to be on the cable access, LDFA, or the ZBA board, have them get a hold of me or get a hold of Rusty at City Hall. Anything else come before council tonight? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Rezegi, I'll make that motion.
Mop and Moral support.
Motion by Rezegi, supported by Mop and Moore to adjourn. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same. Good night. Thanks for coming.